Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the PKM LMG in Call of Duty Warzone. This is definitely 100% the best LMG to use in Warzone. It has a unique attachment that is only on this weapon that 100% makes this a god gun. It is probably one of the best attachments in the entire game, like I said, only on this weapon. So what we're going to talk about is the positives, the negatives, the best class setup, and going over a couple of the attachments and basically breaking down what you guys should use most on this gun. I have a specific class setup I use in specific for Warzone because as an LMG, your ranges are significantly improved, and this gun is a mid to long range, max range weapon. So the positives about this gun is it has a really good damage, obviously being an LMG. And the number one thing I think about this weapon is the attachments for it 100% make it a better overall weapon. The positives you get for the negatives you get are massive on this gun and compared to like a different attachment on a different weapon. So all the positives are very, very good. The negatives are very, very minimal. So your overall best class setup for this weapon is going to have excellent stats compared to the base weapon, and I definitely think it probably gets the biggest improvement out of all the guns in the game. So the base stats, your damage is going to be a 3430 damage profile, meaning it's only an 8 to 9 shot kill at the max range. Compared to that of the GFUEL, the M4, they start out being a 9 shot kill weapon. So your max distance, this weapon will kill just the same and faster than those of the M4 and the GFUEL. Fire rate's about 750 rounds per minute, which is pretty average, identical to that of the GFUEL. Obviously, the place where it lacks as being an LMG is in the mobility category. Like I said, the attachments on this weapon are so good, and they 100% make it a god gun, and I was using it. You guys watched the gameplay in the background. I was fighting like 3-4 players at a time at very long distances and almost killing all of them just because the accuracy is so good with the class that I recommend. So we're talking about, like I said, the barrels, the grips, and then some of the unique attachments and how they actually affect this weapon, because a lot of people have different attachments they use and they really stand behind. The number one attachment I want to talk about up front is the unique attachment specific to this weapon, which is the snatch grip. It helps your overall accuracy, obviously reduces your vertical recoil, and at the same time gives you a 15% faster aim down sight time, which is the only attachment that has both of those together on a weapon. And the only negative is your movement speed. So you get two massive positives for this weapon, and it only makes your players slower movement. So that is what I 100% recommend as the opening attachment. Obviously, you guys know I use the monolith suppressor on every single gun. Helps with your range, obviously gives you a silencer to keep you off the radar. And the number one attachment that I personally use is the thermal hybrid. This is an LMG, therefore you're getting into a lot of long range fights where you're killing players at distances above 50, sometimes 100. And sometimes the gunfights I was in, it was anywhere up to 200 meters, and I was actually hitting my shots. The thermal obviously attracts players who don't use cold-blooded, so I 100% recommend it. It's definitely going to help your overall accuracy as well. And it comes with a built-in red dot, which I found pretty useful at close range. And then the long barrel I use is the 26.9 extended barrel. Obviously, it gives you about 20% more range, helps with that bullet velocity, and it definitely helps your recoil. It's the only barrel attachment that helps the recoil pattern, which when you stack that with the thermal hybrid, the grip, and the mono suppressor, it's definitely going to help your overall recoil pattern by a lot. The only negatives about it is your movement speed is only 1% worse, and your aim down sight's only about 5% worse. So you get 20% more range and a better recoil pattern for very minimal negatives, which you won't even notice at all. And then the last attachment is going to be up to your personal preference. The two I recommend most is the rubberized grip tape because it makes your first shot accuracy worse, which is countered by the tack laser, and it helps your vertical recoil pattern. So when you stack that with all the attachments, the recoil pattern is basically zero, has no kick at all, which is going to help you at those long ranges. And the other attachment I recommend is obviously going to be that tack laser. It's going to give you a faster aim down sight time by about 15%, which stacks with that snatch grip. It's going to help with your walking steadiness, which counters the monolith suppressor, and then it's going to help with your first shot accuracy. So basically counters everything else that the gun has. So you're getting all positives for no negatives at all with the tack laser on there. So what we're going to be doing right now is taking a look at the time to kill in comparison to that of the M4 and the GFUEL, which are obviously the two most popular weapons. You guys can see the little graph on screen. The PKM up to the base range of the GFUEL and the M4 is going to kill faster than both weapons. You guys can see at every single range in the game, specifically at long range, once you take that max damage range of the GFUEL off, which is up to like that 45 meter range, you guys can see the massive increase in the time to kill with the PKM with the long barrel from that 48 to that 90 meter range is massive compared to that of the GFUEL and the M4, which is why I 100% recommend it. From that mid to long range, this gun kills faster than pretty much every gun you're going to use. It's 100% in my opinion, the best long range gun in the game, which Warzone's a pretty big map, which a lot of your fights can be pretty long range. So then talking about the unique attachments as far as the barrels, the heavy barrel in comparison to the extended barrel is not going to help with your recoil at all. It's going to give you about 5% more range, and your aim down sight is only about 5% worse. And the compact barrel is only going to make your movement speed faster by 1%, your aim down sight faster by 10%, for a worse recoil pattern, which you guys can see on the screen of the before and after using the compact barrel. The fact that it only helps your movement speed by 1% is pretty much irrelevant. You wouldn't even notice it, so I do not recommend it at all. Like I said, in the grip category, the only grip I recommend is the snatch grip. You get 2 god tier positives for only 1 minimal negative. Then obviously going into the no stocks, the stock category. So talking about the CQC stock, it gives you a 15% faster ADS with a 15% faster sprint out time, which is an excellent attachment. Only makes your first shot accuracy worse. And then we have the no stock attachment, which gives you about a 10% faster ADS, a 4% faster movement, and a 15% faster sprint out. 3 really good positives. Obviously, it's going to make your recoil pattern worse, which you guys can see. The class setup with the tac laser versus the class setup with no stock, you guys can see the big difference in recoil. So obviously, like I said, I prefer the tac laser. The rear grip is my top 2. No stock's definitely an excellent attachment. It's going to help bring your movement speed up. It only gets a 10% faster ADS versus the tac laser and the snatch, which get 15% each. So definitely slacks a little bit in as far as the positives you get for the negatives. And the last attachment to talk about is the extended mags, the 150 and 200 round belt. The 150 round belt gets a 3% worse movement speed, which is pretty massive. But in comparison to the 200 round belt, you're going to get a 10% slower ADS and a 6% slower movement, which is very massive. So I do not recommend this attachment at all. So like I said, that's pretty much it for today's video. Like I said, I used the extended barrel with the tac laser, the thermal hybrid, the monolith suppressor, and the snatch grip, which is the godliest attachment in the game. So if this class setup does help you guys out, you guys want to try this weapon out, let me know down in the comment section below how you guys feel about the PKM being one of the best guns in the game. If you guys are new to the channel, you guys are still watching the video, you guys have not yet subscribed, you guys want to subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, if this video does help you out in any way, you guys want to leave a like, I would very much appreciate it. Like I said, if you guys want to leave a comment, you guys know the best and only scuff code and GFUEL code to use is code Trapgod. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.